What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the online family? This, of course, here's JamiroFan 2000 with another new episode of JamiroFan Talks About. For the uninitiated in this series, this has been my recurring discussion series here on my YouTube channel, looking at the past, present, and future of Jamiroquai and their now over 30 years of musical amazing. And as I preface at the end of my last video, JamiroFan Talks About, in my recap of Jamiroquai's tour ending tour date they recently had at the Harvest Rock Festival in Adelaide, Australia, a touring return to the country of Australia of nearly 20 years. At the end of that recap episode of JamiroFan Talks About, this episode in particular is going to be discussing what JK had to say at the end of that concert, which is in regards to the 9th Jamiroquai album, which I pretty much been talking about here on my channel, more speculatively than realistically, anecdotally here on my channel for nearly 2 years now, about the 9th Jamiroquai album and where the 9th Jamiroquai album currently stands with its recording process. Now, at the end of the Harvest Rock Festival, JK did say on mic that Jamiroquai would be going back into the stage, thanking everybody in the Australian crowd for being very, very patient with Jamiroquai trying to come back to Australia on tour, but also said that Jamiroquai would be going into the studio for the next 4 months for recording. Now, I've reported here on my channel many times about the current state of the 9th album of Jamiroquai, and we know that JK has said on multiple occasions, including some of the band members of Jamiroquai, that Jamiroquai has been in the recording process for the 9th Jamiroquai album, which is speculatively, hopefully going to be coming out sometime in late 2024, going into early 2025, that they were into the recording process of the new album as of the beginning of 2023. Well, now, as of Harvest Rock, it appears that they're going to be going into the studio to do another 4 months of recording, and that pretty much matches up with what I have heard, and pretty much matches up with the kind of recording pattern and studio work pattern that Jamiroquai has been going through, at least during the latter half of their albums. And I do believe Jamiroquai is going to be spending a good amount of 2024, at least the first half of the year, doing a lot of recording in the studio, back and forth, band members going, coming and going, recording their instrumental parts of the brand new material of whatever Jamiroquai has been able to come up with for the 9th album. Now, it's very reassuring news that they're in the recording phase rather than the composition phase, because the composition phase with Jamiroquai, when it comes to new albums, can run years. Now, this composition era for at least this 9th album of Jamiroquai was kind of sidelined by the world pandemic of 2020 through 2022, so the band was not able to get together because of quarantines, and not much information was known by the World Health Organization about this disease. But luckily, time went by, vaccines came out, inoculations happened, and the band was able to start getting back together after being separated for nearly 2 years because of the worldwide pandemic of COVID-19. But the composition period after 2022 went rather quickly. I dare to say one of the quickest composition periods, at least for a new Jamiroquai album, at least from what I have heard and able to report. But we are nearly a year removed into the at least half a year to a year removed into the recording process of the 9th Jamiroquai album. So that is very, very good news. When that means why I think that the 9th Jamiroquai album, at least in the first single release or maybe a general album mixing, might be starting to happen mid to late 2024, with a possible album release sometime in the late 2024 into early 2025. Now, Jamiroquai albums do have an average time length of composition and recording of nearly 6 to 8 years in some case. Automaton took nearly 6 years until its release in March of 2017. So the 9th album, we're currently probably about 5 years waiting into the 9th album, 5 to 6 years of waiting. So it's kind of in that time frame, that expected time frame of that Jamiroquai album being conceived, being compositioned, and then finally being recorded, ultimately with a more arduous period of mixing. So the speculative side, me and my barrier, this is all speculation, at least from this point further in this video. This is my speculation, and take it with a grain of salt, and please do not take it as gospel. I know I have a bit of a reputation of being right about things with Jamiroquai, but this is purely my speculative opinion. I think we're going to see a first single from Jamiroquai's 9th album, potentially by the end of 2024. They're going to have to finish the recording process for most of next year, and then they got to get it mixed, and I'm hoping they're going to be mixing this 9th album with Mike Guzowski, who is the amazing mixer out of California, who mixed Jamiroquai's album Automaton back in 2017 and did an amazing job making it sound crisp and clean and smooth and extra funky. So I'm hoping the 9th Jamiroquai album, wherever it goes musically, it could be a collaboration album, it could be a return to the roots of the acid jazz, it could be a further exploration of the futura funk, EDM, electronic influence. I don't know aesthetically where the ninth Jamiroquai album is going to go, but given the track record of Jamiroquai, I trust them that they know what they're doing and it's going to be good and everyone's going to love it. But like I said, the last Jamiroquai album, last few Jamiroquai albums, at least in this new album era, new sound era of Jamiroquai, have been growers. These are albums you have to listen to over and over again to pick up on the hidden brilliance of Jamiroquai's ever-evolving sound, as radical as it has changed over the last nearly 20 years of their history, and now 30 years of their musical history. But that's pretty much all the news I know for right now concerning the ninth album of Jamiroquai. If any other major news comes along after this video on my YouTube channel, I will be sure to cover it on a future episode here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel. But bear in mind, if it's stuff I can't talk about, then I won't talk about it. But it's stuff I've got permission to talk about, I will talk about in a future video. And, you know, I'll pass it on when I can, when the band are pretty much ready. I don't like to report any news that is purely speculation. I like to do speculation purely on my part, on what I hear from where I can hear it, okay? And that's pretty much my criteria, and I think it's a pretty good track record to stay abiding to. So for my prognostication, for my speculation on the ninth Jamiroquai album, that's where we stand. And be sure to keep your eyes on the twin subreddits of the online Jamily and our Jamiroquai and our Reddit Jamily for further details about the ninth album as they become available. I'm hoping I'm going to be hearing for some band members over the coming months about the progress level of the ninth album, and I hope it's going to be swift and quick, and so we can go into a new album cycle of Jamiroquai as we go into over 30 years of music making and the ninth Jamiroquai studio album, their second of which is part of their Universal Music deal that is currently going. But as always, this is JamiroFan 2000. I hope you enjoyed this episode of JamiroFan Talks About. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to ding the bell on your YouTube to stay up to date on all the latest news coming from the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel. In regards to Harbor Rock Festival, I'm going to have a lot of highlight videos that are going to be going up here on my channel live, so massive thank yous to the members of the Jamlies that contributed content, and you will see those names of those people that contributed video content of highlights from that last festival appearance by Jamiroquai for 2023 on those appropriate highlight videos. Be sure to check those out. And I also have a highlight video of some amazing footage of Incognito live at Coco in London from October 26th, which was graciously contributed by my social media mum. So be sure to keep your eyes out for that highlight video of Incognito rocking out the house at the Coco in London. But as always, this is JamiroFan 2000, and I'll see you again really soon with more Jamiroquai related content here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel. Thank you everybody for watching throughout 2023, and I'll see you again really soon with more Jamiroquai related content. Bye bye everybody, and take care.